right, this is round 2 attempt at this. I think we're actually live this time, Katja.
Perfect. Yeah.
This is our redo of a webinar we tried to do last week. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. It's Michael Devellano from Ops.ai with my friend Katja from ContentRadar.ai. How is everything going?
All good on the AI side of things. Yeah, new stuff
AI
happening.
everywhere.
You know. Yeah. It's there is no way around it. AI is eating the world, and we're riding this wave, I guess, with agents for marketing and sales and biz dev teams, right?
Exactly. I mean, I think it's an exciting time. There's a little bit of hype out there. I've already seen some cracks in some competitors, which is interesting. It's been a
but that's a good
crazy
sign. It means there is a market. There is a market. There
Right.
is demand for it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some interesting news about some people that maybe oversell what they've got, but we don't want to oversell anybody. We want to share with people some exciting ideas, particularly around this concept of like creating content for LinkedIn and then outreach and combining those two. I think the original, I will give credit to Adam Robinson from RB2B because he's kind of the guy that coined a term of inbound led outbound. So I don't know if you've followed him very much. And he's done a great job of blowing up his own profile where, yes, they do sales outreach, but then he reinforces everything with his founder brand on LinkedIn. And I think he's done a great job of that. So that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today, and then talk about how your tool, which I was introduced to maybe 3-4 weeks ago, can really help to repurpose content, create content specifically for LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's what we are doing. I believe so. Me myself, I spent 11 years doing sales, media sales, more precisely for Spotify. So did quite some outreach on LinkedIn as well back in the days. There were no agents and no automation tools where you would just put it in autopilot. So it was a bit more manual. And I've been on LinkedIn since my student days, actually, since I was trying to find my first internship position. And back in the days, it was less around content creation, but still you had, it was a requirement to have an interesting profile and from time to time post something exciting and provide added value to your potential target audience, just to showcase, okay, you are in this industry, you're someone interesting to follow and to respond to your messages, right, to your outreach. And when starting Content Radar a bit more than 1.5 years ago, together with another ex-Spotifyer, so one of the thoughts was, how cool would it be if people would come to you instead of you like chasing everyone and running after everyone and doing like endless. That would be a dream. And I guess, well, the truth is in the middle, right? It's as you said, it's a successful combination of inbound marketing, so content, kind of don't chase, attract, but then it's also go after the big. Yeah, but then you also have to define your ICP and engage with this audience. And, if you are new in the market and there are so many new things happening, you have to tell them that you are the new kid on the block and what your offering is about. And then they would check on your profile. And yeah, it's a mix, I guess. It's so like meeting someone in a bar, right? Someone has to talk to someone first, but then
who's going to make the first move?
Yeah, exactly.
So I like this combination because for us, like, we kind of have 2 channels for outreach, right? So Ops, we've initially focused on for B2B, founder-led sales, go-to-market phase. How do you be proactive and go talk to people that look like your customer? And that starts with data and then messaging. But there's 2 channels, and one is LinkedIn and one is B2B email. One of those is very low volume but high trust. And that's the beauty of LinkedIn is if you reach out to me, I can look at your profile, I can look at your company, and I can see what you're posting. And that's the first thing people do. Whereas emails tends to be much lower trust, and you don't have a built-in mechanism for people to check you out. So I think we recognize over here, like, okay, we're kind of stuck on how much outreach we can do on LinkedIn. And we have to be careful about the messaging and the type, but we really can reinforce it with content. And I think that's what excites me about it, because it's tough to get scale here, but maybe content can help add to that and be a multiplier. And I think that's what part of my goal is.
Yeah,
that we
no,
can
I mean, I'm not.
give people a way to scale content too, right? Because there's a volume issue.
Exactly. And I mean, I think it's about the quality, not the quantity. But if you are, as you said, if you are like a sales representative, or if you are in recruiting, for example, talent acquisition manager, you are not getting paid for creating content.
Right.
So that's not officially, it's not part of your job scope. But if you have an empty profile, if you do not tell anything about yourself, about the company you work for, represent, it's going to be a bit tough to convince your sales prospects or candidates to, even talk to you, to book a call with you and listen to what you offer. So that's kind of where we come into the whole setup. When you don't have a dedicated social media content marketer resource, you use Content Radar to come up with ideas, turn your ideas into content super fast, matching your tone of voice and also brand identity of the company. You can create LinkedIn carousels in a few clicks and so on. And then you can also repurpose existing content. I can show you, if I can share the screen.
Sure.
Share screen,
you just hit present, you can do that.
Yeah, so I can show here, it's an example. AUTO1, it's the largest second-hand car marketplace in Europe. It's huge. It's a publicly listed company. They are customers of Content Radar, a team of talent sourcers. So I don't know, 8 or 10 people. And so what she did is she took the article that was written and about them, like in tech talent, and then with the help of Content Radar, she summarized it in like one click in a ready to go, perfectly formatted LinkedIn post and pushed it out. And what they do with the team, they create posts twice per week, more or less, and schedule them, put them on the collaborative content calendar. So their team lead, who's this girl who just reposted and liked. By the way, you can also pre-program reactions and reshares and reposts.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of, if they are 10 people, they can kind of fuel each other's content quite a lot. And that supercharges their team with like additional creativity, and they have their profiles are filled up with content. That's an example, for example.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So I think you hit on a really important point before. So that's at a founder, right? That's an example of a founder who has a content process through Content Radar. And the other point you made was around, salespeople are not paid to make content, but there's a benefit if they do it really well and they get attention. So it's like, what do you do here? How do you make it so that you're doing this without it, being seen as a distraction from your job by someone?
Yeah, I think well, that's why you need AI tools like Content Radar. So you just want to spend a couple of minutes in, creating or repurposing content, putting it out there. So I have another example of, I'm gonna show my screen again, so it's not just our like faces, talking heads all the time. So we have Alex, who is a B2B SaaS founder. He is he's building. It's like a sales to video with AI for sales teams. So he is quite big in the LinkedIn content game, and he uses Content Radar a lot to also repurpose content, schedule content, and get inspiration for his post editor and so on. And he loves it because he's juggling like multiple hats. So yeah, he's doing that.
All right. So I don't want to get too involved in slideware, but I did make something so visually people can look at. You made this really a nice slide. Thank you for joining it. It improved the picture right away, having your picture on there. So we've been kind of talking about this inbound led outbound concept. We have a stat that we talk about with sales reps, particularly like SDRs spend 80% of their time not selling. And what we realize they're doing is they're messing around with tools. They're messing around with research. They're moving CSVs around. It's chewing up like most of their day, creating campaigns that don't even have the right volume. And so then to your point, like we need a way, one, if we can use ops to automate that and reduce creating campaigns to minutes, which is what our objective is. And then you've got free time, I think, to use something like Content Radar to create really great content and engage with people on LinkedIn like a marketplace. So I think that's kind of like an overarching summary of what we wanted to see. We see a lot of founders, like we're both founders and we both lead sales for our organization. So we see a lot of founders that are trying to start a company but also sell. And what I like about this is your tool gives them the ability to tell that compelling story in a consistent, scalable way. So I don't know if we can talk about that. And you gave two really good examples there. One, what was the first lady's name? I apologize. It was.
So one is it's a big publicly listed company, so it's not founder-led
right.
sales. It was an example for a talent acquisition team.
Got it.
Yeah, because I mean they are not social media creators. They have to source candidates and hire them to fuel the company's growth. And then another one is a founder, very, very early stage, who has to juggle everything like product building, fundraising, sales. But obviously, the first go-to channel is in founder-led sales is the kind of your own reach on LinkedIn, on X, and on Instagram if you are building something more for consumers. And it can easily morph into a full-time job, curating and creating content. Yeah, so with Content Radar, I'm happy to give also a quick demo of our tool.
Yeah, let's definitely.
Yeah, so you can just bring. So should we do it now, or should we go through the slides?
Yeah, we'll bump right through this. So really, what we want to do is automate outreach, right? And then we want to automate content, and that's really our goal. And you're going to show us how we do that with Content Radar. This is Katya. If you want to find her, I didn't want to butcher her last name because sometimes I get tongue-tied on these things. I get nervous. And really, what you're going to show us is a way to do LinkedIn inbound, to create content and then engage and then build your brand presence on LinkedIn. So I think with that, if you're welcome to share whenever you're ready. I don't like doing slideware, but it does give people a little bit of visual. So
yeah, you don't want to give people a feeling they are back to the uni.
No, we don't want to PowerPoint people to death.
Yeah, do not PowerPoint people to death. Exactly. Yeah, so this is our website, contentradar.ai. We have a 7 days free trial, no credit card required. So whoever is watching this, feel free to log in and play around with the tool. This is how it looks like. So you will be taken through the onboarding, which I've obviously already done. And you can create a workspace for your company. In my case, it's Content Radar. Invite your coworkers or also external collaborators if you maybe work with freelancers or agencies for content creation. And in settings, connect LinkedIn accounts that you would like to orchestrate or co-orchestrate through our tool. Add different seats. We also have an integration with X. And Slack integration. So all the posts that you create, they go to like a dedicated marketing channel, so your team can see it, be informed, or maybe react on your post, in real time, boosting its performance. You can fetch your drafts from Notion, and we have the basic HubSpot integration, so you can see who engages with your post on LinkedIn and add them to your CRM.
So pause on that one. So you're saying anyone that likes a post can automatically be added to HubSpot?
Yep.
Oh wow, that's a great feature. Okay, I was not aware of that.
Yeah. We have that. So I need to scroll a bit more down.
Is it like and comment?
It's, for example, here. Comment. Reactions.
Great.
Yeah, and then you can add this person to CRM.
Awesome. Okay, that's actually a really good feature. I think we've been looking at ways to. There's been obviously a weird couple of weeks with like LinkedIn banning people on like
Yeah.
Seamless, Apollo, and there's like I think La Growth Machine got their page
Yeah.
banned. And I know that's partially about scraping, but you're integrated to whatever API they have, right?
We work with the LinkedIn team, and we have access to the developer API and community API. So yeah.
Amazing. So
but there are updates. So we have to be on top of those. Yeah.
Always.
Sometimes they're being quietly released. And we are like a bit behind, kind of. Updating that.
But this is I think this is a great feature because in our side of things, there's a real trend around, being able to pull people that engage with a post and turn them into outreach. So this is interesting to look at. And what information comes into HubSpot when this happens?
Yeah, just like whatever is accessible on on the profile. LinkedIn contact, and if there is an email address, the email address, and like the title.
Okay, so it might be a personal one, but whatever they've published as part of their profile.
Yeah.
Does it grab their LinkedIn?
Sorry?
Does it grab their LinkedIn URL?
I think so, yeah.
Huh. All right, we got to test this. This is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think this is an important feature. Like there's tools out there that that's their whole business is to try to do this. So as a bonus, if you have a way to pull this into HubSpot and add we can then automate it to add them into a sequence. That's an amazing thing. The sequence, like in our case, we don't have a direct integration to pull. We can push as well. But we've been thinking about, well, why wouldn't I pull a list based on criteria from HubSpot? And that's been on our roadmap map for a little while. So that, theoretically we could create, and we could probably still do this with something like Zapier, where you push it into HubSpot, that sets a trigger or a tag, and we pull them back into a campaign that says, hey, I noticed you engaged my post.
Yeah, that's something we could collaborate on. Let's take it on.
I love that. We'll definitely.
Let's take it online after. After the
I mean, if you guys are pushing the data, we can do that now. There's a way to do it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, let's definitely discuss. So here analytics for company profiles and for personal pages as well, and like the overview for X. For different accounts that are connected, and then you can also create multiple profiles. So, for example, for both founders, and this is in marketing, and then we have a company page. It is also possible to upload logo, fonts, and integrations. So in that case, it's content radar profile, define sources. So our tool would infer tone of voice, and that's the distinctive feature from just like an average ChatGPT output. So generations that we create, repurposings or like ideas from scratch, they match the tone of voice of the profile that is selected here.
Okay, so I understand you're using AI to match based on prior posts that the user makes. Is that what it is, or when
prior posts? Exactly, prior posts, and this, for example, in my case, you can also upload headshots for carousels. So here we fetch prior posts, and then the tone of voice would be informal, conversational, friendly. Yeah.
Awesome.
Character.
Yeah, we do something like that with sequences. That's really cool.
Yeah.
We do this, we do something similar where it's like when we're building messaging sequences in our sequence writing with Valet inside of
That's nice.
Then we can match those up, right? It's like if you want conversational tone or you want satirical or something else, we can build that in here. I love that.
So in that case, that's the tone that you've been using anyway, or the tone for your company is we infer that from the website and from the sources that you've provided, like blog or website and so on.
Awesome. Okay. So the sources, you're using that to train the AI. Is that the idea?
To infer the unique tone of voice because we are an AI-powered content generation tool, right? So we do not want like just an average content that will suggest to you. It has to feel kind of natural. So the AI shortcuts that we provide, the content should be ready to go, but like minor edits. So it should feel like you, or like, written specifically for your company.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah, that's quite cool. And then, so what we have an agent as well, the AI ghostwriter. So there are, so there are two different options: the old school way, clicking the buttons, for example, like for repurposing. And here it can be anything. It can be a YouTube link. For example, if we upload this recording to YouTube later on, we can take it. That's right, by the way, like to follow up, to do a follow-up post on this, maybe end of the week. We'll take the YouTube link. In this case, we'll try with the blog. And then we can decide that we want to create a LinkedIn post and a carousel and X, different output languages. Well, call to action, so we can add more instructions like learn more and so on. And then we'll get a post generated already perfectly formatted for LinkedIn. So this is what the team is doing, for example, which with the press article, the team from AutoOne we had a look at before. And here it's the post carousel. It can be your company's branding. In this case, it's made with Content Radar watermark, so it's our branding, and an X post. So we can save those and go to the editor and I don't know, maybe do some edits. We can add a content label. We can ask a colleague for an approval request. Then we can also program some post actions. So I can decide that, I don't know, my co-founder maybe comments on this post and so on.
So you can you can do comments across multiple people on one post from your team.
Yeah. So all the people, those LinkedIn accounts are connected to this workspace. So this is great also for employee advocacy and social selling. And
so just a question on that. So like a big part of what we think happens is when you make a post on LinkedIn, if people engage with it, it gets more reach. Does this help with that, do you think?
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly the purpose. So you can sit on the plane without connecting your internet, enjoying maybe the offline time, and then your post goes live. You can schedule it with reactions and comments, and I can schedule it from the company profile or from my own profile. Yeah, and like I'm not scheduling right now, but like it's possible. And then another handy feature is the collaborative content calendar, where one can see, okay, all the content pillars, when is it going live, and what time, who's the author, and so on. So this is a repurposing, and right now we are launching another feature, which we're rolling out later today or tomorrow. So it's in the staging environment. It's a LinkedIn coach, which is, so it's basically your AI coach. You can define people you follow, people you admire, like other founders, LinkedIn influencers, and then connect your profile. So it would also fetch like what are the topics that you've been writing about. And then here it suggests you stuff that you could post. Mastering AI-powered content repurposing, perfect. And then I can click on generate a post and voila. So, I mean, it's actually ready to go. I can, so it's literally in seconds. And, I can fill out my content calendar with it. And so it took me less than a few minutes.
So we don't go too
back
fast.
to...
Yeah. Before we whip by this, because I think this is a really good feature. So what you're saying is, based upon people you follow and like, so you go, listen, this guy has really good content, and I want to have the style or the tone similar to that, and it's making suggestions of posts based upon their style, but also what the profile is. So it's combining them.
Exactly. It also takes into consideration like what's true to my profile and the content that I've been writing about. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, that is a great feature.
Yeah.
And you think that'll be out like sometime in the next week?
No. Like in a few hours and maybe tomorrow
Few
at the
hours, oh
latest.
boy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So it's,
I
I mean, it's already, we're testing it internally. Yeah. But like sign up, play around, and it's there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. I like that.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, and then you can also generate LinkedIn post ideas based on like just dumping a few keywords. And here, oops, that was a perfect demo case, not working. Let's see if it works here in the live environment.
We're bug testing it live.
Yeah. Okay, so this is not working too.
Yeah,
yeah, let's blame the internet connection. Yeah, but it's actually quite cool. It's an integration with Perplexity AI, and it gives also really nice like research on exactly what you post about.
Do I put my Perplexity account in, or is that something that you guys just use?
No, everything happens behind the scenes. So you just need to sign up for Content Radar, and we integrate with Claude, OpenAI, Perplexity, and in the future with more LLMs, like depending on the use case, to provide the best output and result.
And then your carousel feature, it's generating the images, and you put a brand template in? Is that the idea?
You can do it, yeah. So you can upload your fonts and define your brand colors, logo, headshot, and then you can create carousel basically in a second.
So like the first picture, I know a lot of guys that do a really good job of this. They they kind of have like a hook in the first image, right? It's like an image hook and a written hook. So that could be part of your template. It's not like fixed. Like I could set the template, and then the content piece, which is, like depending on what copywriting framework you're using, like it's like
I can show. I mean, it's a bit more basic than let's see, it's a little bit more basic than carousels that you create in Canva, but sometimes you just want to have a carousel for your post. That's it. So let's see, for example, we have this post, and we don't want a title card.
Did it generate the emojis, by the way?
Yeah, you have like an option to add emojis.
Oh, cool. Okay, great.
Yeah. Yes, okay, you can create.
It's silly, but that's such a hard thing sometimes. Like you're hunting for a keyboard or like a pop-up that has emojis when you're typing. So I like the fact that you built that in, because I think that's such a underrated way to draw attention to bullet points.
Yeah, it saves time. So basically what it did, it recapped the content of your post. It put it on slides.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can edit it. So.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Make it shorter.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because sometimes it's a bit too long, and then you can also add logos or I mean, here we already have one. But you could also add like a handle or like a headshot and so on. So it's more basic text and graphics,
can you go back
but
to the
it's
headshot?
On brand. Yeah.
Sorry, you I think you're too used to your software. And I want to make sure that people get to see it. So you said something about a headshot in there.
Yeah, so if you want to create a carousel from your personal profile, you select your personal profile, and then let's see, do we have an example here? We take this. Here we already have a carousel. Just a second. Maybe we have one without. Here we have one too, but maybe we can edit it. So here it would appear with my headshot.
That's really slick. I like that. And are you choosing between square and circle for the headshot?
No, I think it's just square at
It
this
just picks
point.
it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a circle and then it switched to a square, so I wasn't sure what was going on. But it's cool. I like that. That looks.
Yeah, here it's circle.
Yeah, that's what I was curious. Like,
Okay, it's a circle. Yeah, I don't know. The preview was square. It's a
yeah, that looks
circle.
really slick. I like that.
Looks nice. Yeah.
It looks
So
really
we
nice.
have those options to, yeah, and the main goal is just to, save time and allow people whose job is not to create social media content for like 8 hours per day, whose job is to sell, to recruit candidates, to build companies, but everything that is included into that, like Superman, Superwoman mission, to make their life easier. And instead of these people having to use multiple tools, hire a team of freelancers to do that for them, it's our AI and our like Slick UX that is handling that.
Okay, I really like that, and you shouldn't be shy about that stuff. Those are really cool features, so I really like some of that. So I hope you don't mind that I paused to kind of drill down on them.
No, that's great. Yeah.
All right. So what's the easiest way for someone just to go to contentradar.ai and they can sign up for, is it a 7-day trial? I think, is that what it was?
It's a 7-day free trial. And then you can also, we have a place to leave feedback. So we are all ears and for suggestions, what else we could build, how can we do better, what's breaking, sometimes things break, it's a startup life. So yeah, if you play around and create an account, like please leave us feedback here. So it goes straight into our team Slack and we can act upon it. And otherwise, yeah, find me on LinkedIn. Let's be friends. Let's hang out.
Let's be friends.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty cool. Now, there was what was the other question I was going to ask you? Okay, so how does it work? Like I saw where, I don't know how your subscription works. Let's say I have 5 team members. Am I charged per seat or what's the model?
Yeah, so we are charging $40, $39 per month for 3 LinkedIn accounts that you would connect, and then $19 per any additional LinkedIn account connected. Yeah, so in that case, it would be like 70. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, great. That's very reasonable. And then I noticed I didn't realize before that you had a Twitter integration. Is that part of it?
Yeah. So people use that to cross-post content to X and to schedule for both LinkedIn and X. It's quite handy because it can be quite hard to maintain multiple platforms.
Yeah. Like we've used Loomly for a long time, which is pretty good. And maybe we don't features. What I like about this is at first it's LinkedIn first. Carousels is always a problem with these other platforms. So this addresses like there's guys that have built tools just for carousels. So this wipes the need for that out. I like the the multiple commenter to prime, because we're doing that manually. Like we're sending in chat like, hey, like my post once a day, right? So here I can operationalize it so nobody has to think about it. I like that. The other thing that I like, the content suggestion based upon people you follow. That's such a unique feature that you're coming out with, because there's guys like Taplio, right? Like Taplio's suggesting content. Alex Banks has a product that comes up with hooks, right, for viral tweets and posts. Like, but it seems like that yours is the only one I've seen that takes in, I like this creator's tone and style, and here's yours, and let's make something unique. So that's
we'll
really
see how it goes. So we're rolling it out as we speak. So yeah, we're excited about this one.
I'm telling you, it'll be great.
Yeah,
I can tell that you and I have been building product for too long, because it's like I'm always hedging my bets on when I release something. Because you're like, is this gonna work? To work.
We're also contemplating to build this into a Chrome extension, because then maybe there is less of a hurdle. You don't have to create the account, set everything up, so it's web app. So maybe it's kind of closer to the platform. Debating about that internally. Yeah.
That's so the idea would be then it's an overlay on LinkedIn.
So for now, it's within our web app, as you've seen in the demo. But we are thinking maybe to, make a simplified version of it, like focusing on this LinkedIn coach feature and post editor, and have it in the form of a Chrome extension.
So just to clarify, like we've been getting ready to, for a while, launch our Chrome extension. And what that does, and I can show you, is, when I'm on LinkedIn, Valet, our co-pilot, is there. So is that kind of the same idea? There's almost like a chat or a pop-up window? Is that what you would have?
Yeah, like an extension. Yeah. Potentially. So
when you're on LinkedIn, that's cool. And then, I've seen other tools where it's like you have your Chrome plugin and it almost overlays buttons. For example, I might have a post and I have one tool like Walaxy, for example. I can pull people that like, well, I shouldn't say that about Walaxy maybe, but there's someone that has a plugin where, if I have a post and it says, hey, add them to a list. It's similar to, and that's the other feature you talked about that I think is amazing. Like the fact that you can bring that into HubSpot gives us a lot of possibilities where we can add people that engage with our content, likes, comments, into campaigns. I mean, that's a huge win. Yeah, you got some really cool features. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I really like it. All right, so what we've been trying to get our own LinkedIn strategy under control because we kind of go in ebbs and flows. And do you find there's any issue with using, like, is there a difference between? I get this question all the time. Is there a difference between when I post to LinkedIn directly or through a tool like this?
On the tools like ours, you cannot tag people. It's a limitation that everyone has. It's like LinkedIn permissions. So that's the difference. But you do not always have time to, create content and post in real time, so immediately. So sometimes you have to prepare it. And I think the ideal strategy is a combination of pre-scheduled content and the one that you create on the fly.
Yeah, that's so you don't think there's any penalty for using like a scheduling tool? That's really kind of what I'm driving at.
Like that the reach of your post might go down.
Correct.
It's better. It's better to like go on LinkedIn, engage for like 20 minutes, hang out there, DM with people, comment on other people's posts, then post something live, tag a bunch of people, and even then, it's not always guaranteed that it will pick up. And then you send it to thousands of friends, like Slack channels and WhatsApp groups to boost it, ideally. But realistically, can you do it every week, like several times per week? Sometimes you want a consistent presence, and you want to post several times per week. And for that, hours comes in handy.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this has got to be part of your strategy, right? I was just always curious, like, if there's a limitation, and I guess we don't. So what you were saying is organic is always preferable, but we definitely need to have consistency, and it's really tough to just manually do everything. LinkedIn does not make anything easy. Right? We need providers like Content Radar and Ops to make LinkedIn better. We just wish they would clue in that they're like a stone in a AI age sometimes.
Yeah, I guess just to save people's time and to provide shortcuts for like inspiration, creativity.
Of course. I mean, we have other stuff to do. We want to talk to real people at some point. All right, this is awesome. I'm really excited that you shared it with us. I did want to. Have you seen what we've come out with from LinkedIn on Ops? Did I share that with you? I'm going to show you kind of what we've got.
Yeah.
Let's do some show and tell, Katya. We need to show some. This is Ops, which we've built basically a co-pilot, like you're saying. You're automating content creation and syndication, and then a whole bunch of other really cool features. What we've tried to do is take the complexity out of the two channels that we do for outreach. So we're trying to make it so you can just simply say, like, I want to create a 3-step B2B email campaign. So we're doing the same thing. This is a little crazy, but I'm going to tell it, look, I just want to target software companies in the United States with title founder, right? And within our platform, and I can give it more parameters, but it's basically said, well, here's how much data I've got. How much do you want? Name it. I'm going to go 12 founder USA. Oh, I typed that wrong. And then, it's created a campaign and moved the data already. So that quick, I can create an outreach campaign on email. In the background, it says, well, do you want to use an existing script you've written? And I've used our sequence tool to write that, which I can show you quickly. But in this case, I'm just going to tell it, yeah, I want this sequence. You can see inside of like the time you and I are just talking, I've basically created, no, it's not going to swap over. Hold on. Let's share this properly here. Let me give you the entire screen. It's created already the campaign. So it's moved the data, it's moved the sequence. It's just up to me to pick the sending accounts. So in that time, we've done that. And we've also launched, this is how I wrote the copy, by the way. So similar to how you were showing me, where you're basically building a prompt to create great content. And we could do something similar to great sequences, right? Where you're like, I'm going to name the sequence. I'm going to tell it it's, Katya from Content Radar. You go one word though, right? Content Radar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just say, what do you provide? We feel scalable way to create great LinkedIn content. And our proposal is automate your LinkedIn content with Content Radar. I'm probably saying this wrong, but do you go all lowercase or do you capital?
Yeah, we write it like that actually. Yeah, like the.
See, I'm on brand, Katya.
You're on brand, yeah.
And then with the pain points that people have is like the time and complexity of creating great LinkedIn content at scale. So kind of similar to what you're doing, I'm basically trying to build the messaging that comes out with decent content and then have human review, right? And the pain points are, time to create content that looks great and goes viral.
Yeah, exactly, converts.
Founders and I'm just going to say in this case, maybe my sequences target founders in the go-to-market phase. And I won't mix it. I'll just say one audience. And then similar, what you were showing me about like the tone, you can say, well, what tone do you want in the emails, right? Do I want conversational? We've had some success with satirical, actually. That's been interesting or controversial. And then you say, like, well, what do I want the person reading this to do, right? And I say, well, I want to talk to them, or I want them to try my product. And maybe I can send them a video to explain as the outcome. I would say this kind of gets you 75% there. And we're probably going to make an update to this too. Like, one thing we keep adding in is social proof, but generally this gets you like started, right? And now I can use that in my chat sequences to create campaigns, or I can just send this into an existing campaign, either email or LinkedIn. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Our AI agent is really doing the same thing you're doing, except for B2B email outreach, and then now also LinkedIn. So we have like multi-channel campaigns. I should use a better account, but to give you just an idea, same thing, like it'll add your sequence in. Sequences are a little different on LinkedIn. Usually it's an invite and then a follow-up message, and we can also now mix in email. So now you could either do straight email sequences, or you can do mixed LinkedIn and then email, or whatever order you want. Just to give you an idea, this is kind of what a multi-channel campaign might look like, right? Where anytime a contact enters a sequence, we're going to engage with their profile. Maybe we like a post or visit that person's profile. Can even endorse their skills or make comments. So we can use AI to generate comments. And then invite them, right? So if they're not a first degree, which most of our lists aren't, and if they connect in a period of time, then they get the messaging. And I think what's cool about what you're doing is I could actually direct them to posts now. I could say, hey, sign up for my LinkedIn newsletter, or check out this post on this topic that I was reaching out to you on. And I think that's where you kind of merge the two a little bit. And then you have like any replies to any of your campaigns, we have like one unified inbox now. So whether it's LinkedIn or email, now you have one spot that you can reply to everybody.
Yeah, that's handy.
Yeah, and I love this combination. This is like the dream, right? Where I can free my time, like in a couple minutes, bang out what I need to do have outreach, and then I can spend quality time on building great content on Content Radar and syndicate it out. So now I've kind of got like that whole inbound outbound isn't taking up my whole life, because hopefully my calendar's full from all of this, right?
Yeah, your calendar, your content calendar, and I mean, ideally, like you still add some human touch to it, so you're like on
You
top
need
of
that,
the things,
right?
and like quality control. But yeah, basically, you want to have your content out there, created. I think someone left a comment while we were chatting, like not in hours, but in here, Teresa, not in
Teresa,
hours,
I met
but
at the trade
in
show, by the
seconds.
way.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what?
Well,
You
I
should talk
just
to her
met.
because she's got a podcast on female leaders and founders that she's starting.
Yeah,
So
happy
maybe
to. Hi, yeah. Hi,
yeah, I
Teresa.
can't be
Yeah, I
on
love
it.
podcasts.
I'm banned.
You're banned. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you can do
I'm
it
like
all. So it's,
I'm discriminated against already by Teresa, but it doesn't stop me from helping her.
yeah. But exactly. So you want to like spend like create your content, high quality content that's on brand and matches your tone of voice in a few minutes, and then you also want to have your outreach on autopilot while you're asleep or doing something else. And I guess that's the combination of Content Radar and Ops AI.
That's the dream. So this is kind of we made this neat little thing just to sum it up. Like we always think of when someone doesn't know who you are, how do you get them with some way into your world and business to business? We've got two tools that work together really well now where you can use Content Radar to create engaging content, and then I can systematically on LinkedIn and email pull people into that content. And I think this is like a win-win. And then they're starting to think about it, like whether we're giving stuff away or they're joining our community or newsletter, whether just reading our posts and commenting on it, to the point where eventually we want people to obviously try and buy stuff. So to that end, how does someone try Content Radar? So they just go to Content Radar? Is that the idea? Let's put this in the chat, actually. So Content Radar, actually it's on the little scroll too. So you can see contentradar.ai.
And you just sign up. Yeah.
And then for everyone, they just sign up, basically. I love it.
That's it.
All right, that's amazing. Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you want to make sure we touch on?
I don't know. I think like the streaming softwares are great, but I can't see if people have any questions or comments.
Only the one so far. I'm really disappointed.
Okay, Teresa.
23 people that are on.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna. It's like evergreen content. We're gonna put it. It's gonna be there, right, on LinkedIn for a bit longer. So yeah, we're gonna engage async.
So what we'll do with this is we're going to practice our own, what we preach, right? We're going to take this content. It's already on YouTube. So I think we can pull this into Content Radar, right? We can also create clips, and then we'll message everybody that signed up for this and that's in our network, and we'll do some outreach to say, hey, maybe you missed this. You should check this out.
And this is the repurposed content. Let's do it.
Exactly.
And then let's definitely, let's definitely schedule something for later this week to talk about the HubSpot. HubSpot integration.
I'm very interested in seeing how that works. I think there's an easy way, like that feature you have is very useful. I think I can do a lot with it.
Do you guys use HubSpot? Or not yet? Okay, you use it. Yeah.
I'm generally a Salesforce guy. But in this case, we started using it, and we only put interested people into HubSpot. So as a startup, I didn't have a bill because they have a great free product. They have gates, right, that limit things at some point, but we haven't really run into that. So my bulk of, I will call it cold content or cold contacts are in ops. So whether it's LinkedIn or email, right? I'm reaching out and I'm seeing who might be interested. And then our AI categorizes it in that one inbox that says, this is interested. Maybe they're booking an appointment. Maybe they want to see a video. Anyone that we engage in that conversation with, they go into HubSpot. And then once they're in there, that's when we put them into automated sequences. So similar to you, now we have both those channels going in. I think that's a huge win. And then you can just put them into sequences.
Are you using a like HubSpot for startups paid plan, or
I honestly I have never paid them a dime.
Okay, yeah, because it's getting very expensive very fast. Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. So and maybe HubSpot doesn't like me for this, but because I don't have unqualified data in there, it doesn't blow past their content or their contact limits. And then any email sequence automation, I just have a way to do it without having to worry about their automation. I just use Zapier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's definitely follow up on that.
I guess they're kind of, bootstrapping it a little bit. Like I'm bootstrapped. I think you probably have some investment that's come in, but we're always conscious of those costs. And I keep seeing people posting their SaaS bills. I'm scared to look at my bank account. Like I'm seeing people starting to do that. Have you seen some of these posts?
No, but I have befriended founders. They do, their software does like your SaaS subscription audit. So
I need that.
That's I'll send you.
Send it to me. So I saw my one friend from Fuel Finance. She was the first, I think, that I saw posted this. And she posted they spend like $9,000 a month or something.
Yeah. Are you friends with Alona?
Yes, exactly. Alona, right. Yeah. So she posted, I think she was the first person I saw that she showed what they were spending on stuff. And it was like, oh, I'm scared to look at mine. So is Fuel the tool that is Fuel find subscriptions?
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, so is it something else?
It's called. Yeah, I posted it. I cannot post in the comments to everyone because I'm not the host, but I posted it in the studio chat. Yeah,
hold on.
That's fine.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, use Beams here. Oh, okay, got it. I've seen this. This is a good product.
Yeah.
There, we posted it. This one, right? Cool. All right, I am going to try it.
Yeah.
All right, we are 2 minutes from the top of the hour.
Say hi from me. Yeah.
Yeah, we can get a Katya coupon code.
That's okay. We're friends.
Okay, so to that end, if someone wants to try Ops, I'm going to create a Katya coupon code. Okay. So what people can do is anybody can sign up for Ops. If you use at the Stripe checkout, choose the basic plan and use the checkout code Katya, Katia. I'm going to make this code when we get off. You'll get lifetime subscription, 250 contacts a month. That lets you get, you can find some B2B data that looks like your customer. You can use Valet, our generative chat. If you have a Smart Lead account, by the way, you can just integrate. We don't even charge you for that. So you can integrate and you can create campaigns in your Smart Lead directly from Valet, and you can use our sequence writer. If you want to do a little bit more than that, if you want to try out Linked Ops, then what I will say is just DM me and I will do a 15-minute onboarding and get you set up with a free month. I think that's a good deal, right? Otherwise, Katya, thank you so much for joining me. I know we kind of did it on the fly. You got a great product. I'm excited to use it ourselves because I think it solves a bunch of problems, and I'm excited to try out the HubSpot feature.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll follow up on that, and happy to create a microcode as well.
We have
a free trial already, but ping me if you want like a founder-led product walkthrough, onboarding, and I'll send you a discount code for you and your team because I think you're out of free trial already. So
I might be. Yeah, we need to. We're going to spend some time this week. We'll send it out.
Hit the ground running. Cool. And we should integrate at some point potentially because it does make sense.
Well, I think so too. I agree. Yeah, I think that started getting my head going of how we would do it. So that's great. All right, everybody. Cool. Thank you, Teresa, for your comments and anyone else. We had 26 people watching, which is amazing. I think we had just about that many opted in. So that worked out pretty good. And we'll make sure that we send out to people.
100% show rate. Yeah, 100. Yeah, of course. That's how we roll.
Amazing. All right. Well, have a wonderful day, everyone. We're going to do this weekly, by the way, Katya. So we're going to have another webinar next week that we'll announce, and we're going to try to do this week. We're going to go hardcore. So hopefully you'll tune in. If you can join us, that'd be amazing.
I would love to. Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, looking forward to doing another one with some product updates. So
great.
Cool. And yeah, whoever's listening, check out our LinkedIn coach feature, sign up, and we're rolling it out as we speak. So yeah.
Another great feature.
So you will never have to think about what to write again. Our AI agent and LinkedIn coach will think for you. And,
oh my God, that's dangerous.
Yeah, but you still decide. So it's not an autopilot. So you're still in charge.
Amazing. All right.
The robots are coming, but we are directing them. Yeah.
The robots are coming. Oh, how do you opt in? All right. So I'm going to put this up. So this is, if you want to go for ops, what you can do is go to ops.ai, hit sign up. And then when you go through, you do your first search for data, Daniel, and anybody, and you just use you pick the basic plan and use KATIA as the checkout code. So this is the Stripe checkout code. It'll take the $49 plan, which is 250 records a month, put it to 0. So you have lifetime 250 records, 3,000 records a year. And then from there, if you want like a personal onboarding for Linked Ops, which is our LinkedIn and email outreach platform, I would say just DM me. So add me as a first degree connection, DM me and let me know that you'd like an onboarding, and I will do that for you. Or you can leave it in the comments, and I'll follow up with you, Daniel, and anybody else. I think that answers.
I think no one has ever created a dedicated Katia code for me with a lifetime deal offer. I'm flattered. Yeah.
I like being original.
Yeah.
And then this
for Content Radar. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And we do have the scroll at the bottom, both domains.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, Daniel. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day, and we look forward to talking to you guys in the future.
Yep. Thanks for having